Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the easiest rose using the easiest rose cutter, and then being able to add a rounded bottom and a wire for easy insertion and use into cakes. Things you're going to need is your gum paste. I use straight gum paste. I know some people will do a half gum paste, half fondant mix. I like gum paste. I'm able to roll it thinner, so you need a rolling pin. You're going to need circle cutters. To make the larger rose, you're going to need the 1 7/8 inch or the 48 millimeter circle cutter. So that's to make this guy. To make the smaller rose, you're going to need this circle cutter, which is 1 1/2 inch or 38 millimeter. You're going to need your FMM Easiest Rose Cutter. You're going to need your foam pad, your ball tool, and then you're also going to need your sponge pad and a cup and some paper towel. You try and roll your gum paste as thin as you possibly can. The thinner that you make your flour and your gum paste, the better ruffling you're going to get and the more realistic it's going to look. I'm going to take my cutter and cut my easiest rose cutter shape out, and then I'm just going to thin and slightly ruffle the edges. Now some water. So you're just going to roll. And then I stand it up so that I know everything stays level and the top isn't coming up. And I roll it. And whenever I feel like I need to press the petals out or reshape them, I'll do that. So after I do this step, I like to let it rest either for a few hours or overnight. Just because I've found that when I try and do the entire rose in one shot, it doesn't get quite as full. Because you end up, because it's wet and it still moves a lot, you end up rolling things tighter. So your rose is more condensed. And I like to have a wider rose. Alright, so after you get your petals to however you want them, I would set that aside. And normally I'm doing several of these, so it's just a production line. I make a bunch and I let them sit. So, TV magic. So here is a dry one. So we're going to do this same step again. We're going to ruffle our edges. Now, you can see at the bottom, I rolled it pretty tight. So you'll see that on the other one. I rolled it pretty tight. From this point on, I'm going to start to roll my rose a little bit looser. So I don't want them as tight. Because again, like I said, then you're going to start in the middle of the last row. So like I said, I like my roses to be a little bit more fluffy looking and less tight and condensed. So again, same exact thing I did before, where I'm going to roll it. I'm just going to make the petals in the shape that I want. And start to flop. Just gonna add a little bit of water. So again, just going around it, just like the last layer. And I'm shaping my petals until I'm happy pushing them out. Okay, so again, I'm gonna let these sit. I'm gonna show you on a dry one. Okay, so here you can see how loose I've made it. So there's gaps because I've made it not as tight. So you see the first layer here, and then this is the second layer. And then you get a slightly fluffier rose when you do it that way. So that's my dry one. So now I'm gonna do my third layer. So all total, these are gonna have four layers before we do on the bottom. You can do 3 layers. So this would be your last layer before you do this, if you want the smaller one. But for this tutorial, I'm going to just do the larger one. So same process, thinning my petals. And again, just like the second layer, I'm going to do a very loose third layer. Okay, so basically you're doing another row the same exact way. You're keeping it loose, shaping the flowers the way that you want to shape them. So my next row, if I were to do it, which I have to save on time, but anyway. So my next row would be just a pure white layer. So again, I'm going to let that dry also a few hours or overnight if you have the time. So here we have the 4th layer. So now you can use this. So say you're going to do a like a topper. You don't have to add the dome. Oh, and you can see how my 4th layer is even looser. And then that gives me a fluffier flower. So this is good if you're going to do a cake topper. So I did one here, and they all have the flat bottoms, and I was able to just stick them on, and you don't need to dome. But you can add a wire, and if you want to make a spray, or you want the flexibility of having it on a wire, you're going to add the wire. You can decide what wire you want depending on what you're going to do with it. So what I do is I do a curl around the top of it, because what I want to create is a flat surface. So if you can see, that curl, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to bend it so I'm at a 90-degree angle, like that. I'm going to hot glue it there, and then I'm going to press my wire right into the center. So something else that I want to do is just make sure that the actual wire is going to come out of the center. So that way when you put your leaves on, everything is even. So I stuck that on there. I don't think my glue is hot enough, but okay. So now that's on. So now I'm going to take my gum paste that I had before. I'm going to roll it in a ball, and I'm going to start to flatten out the sides. And then I'm going to push this over my wire. And then I'm going to start to work it in. Now you can add some water or edible glue underneath. Just to get it to stick. So I'm going to try and work out all the gaps. They're going to be covered anyway, so okay. So got that. So we've put our gum paste here, and we've started to create a dome, and we have our wire on there. So now I'm going to take my circle cutter. I'm going to cut 7 circles for the larger size. I'm going to cut 5 circles for the smaller row. I'm going to ruffle probably about 2/3 of the way around, or I'm going to thin at least. So I'm going to do that to all of them. And I'm going to flip them over because I'm going to put water on the back of them. So I roll it, I thin it, I flip. Thin it, and I flip. So now I have all of my petals done. Alright, so I'm going to take my rose, take my water, and I'm going to start to wet a few of the bottoms that I hadn't thinned, just to get myself started. Okay, so now I'm going to take that, and I'm going to start to work it around the wire. So I'm going to take it, right on there. We're just going to go around, overlapping. From one petal to the next. You kind of have to judge the gap that you're going to need so that you can fit 7 petals. Another thing you want to keep an eye on is, so how this one comes all the way up, and now we can see the older one, the other row. So I'm going to just make sure that I push that down to an 8, because sometimes the wire's not coming up directly into the center, so you have to compensate for that. So if you work it around your wire and your wire's not centered, you're going to have one side of petals coming all the way up and another side of petals down here, and then that's not going to look right. So just keep that in mind. One, which we are going to overlap into the first one that we put on. So just brick that, but it's okay. It's all right. Down. Okay. So if you flip it over, so now you'll see what we have. So now this is when we get our cup, and we get our little foam pad. We're going to stick our wire through so that it rests. So now here, this is when you're going to start to really finagle it to get it to the shape that you want. So you're going to need your paper towel. And you just start using your paper towel to lift the petals so that they go in the proper shape that you want. And basically you're just going to add them until you're happy with the shape and where your petals are landing. So a couple things to note is when you're looking at it in there. So this is something that you don't want to see. So I would take a little bit of water and then I would press my petals into that, and then I would support it with a paper towel. The smaller rows, I'm usually able to just hang those upside down. So this step you don't necessarily have to do unless your petals really are not shaping the way that you want them to shape and you want to have a little bit more control over that, which is fine. But because petals are smaller, they're usually fine. Look at it, I'm going to go around, I'm going to see what I don't like, so I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to take the end of my brush and I'm going to press it in to that. So anywhere I don't like it, I'm going to sneak some water in and I'm going to press that in. And then I have to go back and just refluff. So basically just work your petals to the point that you are happy with them. And again, just keeping the inner part in mind so that once your petals dry, you don't see anything you don't like. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. So you're gonna let that dry overnight. And then you end up with a rose that looks like that. Or, for the smaller version, like that. And then it will make a nice spray. And you also have a nice rounded bottom. And then it'll look good on your cakes. Well, I hope that helped everybody. I hope that this video was easy to understand. It was my first tutorial, so I did my best. I'm hoping to do more tutorials on some other techniques. So I will be starting a YouTube channel. Hopefully I'll be able to upload this onto a YouTube channel. If not, I'll just do it direct, but I will let everybody know when I have a YouTube channel up and running. If you have any questions, just post them. And yeah, I would love to see pictures of any of the flowers that you guys make. I know a lot of people say their roses look like cabbage when they use this cutter, so hopefully I helped those people. Alright, I hope everyone has a great day, and see you next time.